Hey, it's Bitty Penny. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to bust our stash of 12 by 12 paper, 6 by 6 paper, and Project Life cards to make these really adorable Valentines. I needed to make 20 of them for my daughter's class, and so I'm going to take you through my process of mass making. So welcome to my channel. Today I'm using 6 by 6 paper pads from the Not Too Shabby shop. These you can get in a subscription each month, and you get 2 paper pads, which means I have a lot of 6 by 6 paper and I want to bust it. So in these paper pads I used everything except for the paper that had the cut aparts, like this one right here. I set those to the side. All right, so I am making little notepads that are 3 by 4. They are going to have a simple binding. I pulled out some stamp sets and some 12 by 12 paper from my stash. These are the stamp sets I thought would be super cute. So we're making these notepads for all the girls in my daughter's class, and we're giving the boys theater candy. So these are the Project Life cards I pulled out, and I thought that would be enough, but when I started doing my math, I actually had to go back and get more. So now I'm taking this 12 by 12 paper and I'm just cutting it down to 3 by 4. So because this has no pattern on it, it's just plain cardstock, then I'm just doing 3 inch strips, and then I cut those into 4 and they worked perfectly. Now, when you're working with paper that has a directional pattern, then you'll need to account for that as you're trimming. So I did mine like this. So I just cut off the extra, I cut it down to 4, and then I cut it down to 3. And that's how it worked for me. Here's where I dig in for more Project Life cards. I did 360 cards in all. I actually might have even done a little bit more. I think I did. If you were only doing a few, you could just use a hand punch, but I brought in my 3-hole punch, and it has a measured ruler on it, and that way I could get them all exactly the same. I brought in these little bookbinding rings. I had gotten these at Amazon. I'll leave it linked down below. And then it was time for me to stamp all my cute little images. So for all this vanilla colored paper, I stamped on my pandas. We love pandas around here. And this one has like a little love letter that it's holding, a little Valentine. It's so cute. So all of the vanilla paper is getting a panda, and so everybody will get a panda for sure, in their little notebooks. And yeah, so I did not round the corners on my pattern paper or my cardstock, and that's just because of the sheer volume. But if you are only making a couple, you could definitely round your corners. Then I used this heart stamp. I just thought Valentine's hearts, perfect. And all of these are just retired Stampin' Up! Stamp sets, but I'm sure you have something like it in your stash, or you can find something like it, or you can find something you like better. Same thing with the Pink Fresh Studio. Sometimes these little bitty stamps are just so fun. So I found 3 that reminded me of my daughter: cupcakes, ice cream, and this super cute bear. And I am going to just kind of stamp those down. And yeah, so this is a great way, you guys, to bust your stash if you have just a ton of paper. So I'm going to lay these out in a piles, like 20 piles. So I'm just laying all these out. Now, some of these, everybody's going to get one of some of these, but others not. Others, I got like 6 or 8 Project Life cards of the same design, and so I'm just laying them out. But what I did is I separated it, like pattern paper, Project Life, and then my solid colored cardstock. And so I would draw from each one and put pattern paper in all 20. Then I'd put colored cardstock like this in all 20. The colors may vary, but I'm just making sure that the pattern kind of stays the same. So then once I'm done with the colored cardstock and those 20, then I go back and I'll add project life cards. I'll go back and add pattern paper until I finally used up all my cards. I got 18 to 20 cards in each of my little notepads here. And then I'm just using these ring binders to clip them all together. It's super easy. And it's fun because the girls could add things to their books or take things out. My daughter's class is predominantly girls. All right, I have some leftover. I busted two 12 by 12 pads from Stampin' Up. So I have those. And then I have some other cardstock there. Now I need to pick my covers. So I grabbed this Sun Chaser and picked rainbows and hearts. And I am going to glue these down on those old Stampin' Up pieces of paper that come with the cardstock. I can't think of what you even call it right now. You know what I'm talking about. You don't need a real thick binding, but I wanted to make a front and back cover. So I grabbed my Mod Podge and I'm just going to glue the pattern paper that I picked to these pieces. And I really liked this particular weight. So, you know, a lightweight or just a double thickness of cardstock would work if you grabbed two pieces of cardstock, maybe one that you think is ugly, and glue the pretty stuff on top. That could work too. I had grabbed this at a crop when I went with my friend Letty, but it was too thick. I'm going to save that for another project in February. I had already cut it all down to 3 by 4. Okay, so once I got my front and back covers done and attached, then I want to decorate the front. I had these hearts in my stash from Target from years ago. I am busting my stash this year, you guys. So if that's content that you're interested in, you're going to want to stick around on my channel because I'm going through it. So I also grabbed this other Stampin' Up set and I have the coordinating punch for it. It does, you can do tickets for all year long. And I love this paper. After I went around all the edges, I just thought that was so pretty. So I'm going to put that in a junk journal. Anyways, so I'm just going to stamp out 20 tickets because I'm going to punch a hole in them and then tie some twine. I did all the colors of the rainbow that you see here and gave each one a little string with a ticket attached. On the back of that ticket, I wrote from Carmen, so they know who the Valentine is from. So I did that for each one of them. And then I really wanted something to kind of keep all the cards from getting in a disarray. So I chose this tool because it was in my stash, but I also think scrunchies would have been super cute for this, or hair ties of some sort, since I'm giving it to like 10-year-old girls. But here is a stack of 20. It really didn't take that long, even making 20 of them. You just start a process, you do all your processes at the same time, and I just think they're super cute. I was showing you there, if you didn't tie something around it, it can kind of slide around. But let's look at it. Each one is completely random and different. The project life cards worked perfectly for this. Even if you just wanted to go through all your project life cards, you could make these without anything else. Just a hole punch and some decoration. The sky's the limit. I'm sure you can come up with lots of creative ways to embellish these and make them exactly the way you want them. But I'm so happy to be done ahead of time and have my daughter's class all taken care of for their Valentine's Day exchange. The not too shabby paper was just so cute, and I loved the stamped cardstock and the plain cardstock. I just think they came together lovely. I hope you do too. Hope you're inspired to use some of the things you have in your stash, maybe in a new way. I know the concept's not new, but they do make cute Valentines. See you next time. Bye.